half here.
Yes.
Dennis, how about that Big Jack Hazard to Big Zach Harrison? How about those guys?
Yeah, that was some big, healthy guys, healthy young guys that Grimsley really going to need to produce in a big game. That they have a big rivalry.
Big challenge. Those guys seem they're very excited about that challenge.
Yeah. And it's something about a big rivalry game, especially when Grimsley and Page. It doesn't matter. The records are indicative of the play. These kids, just think about these kids when they was in middle school playing against each other, and they couldn't wait to get under Grimsley team.
Yeah, back then it was like Kaiser versus Mendenhall, Kaiser versus Aycock.
That's right.
Swan.
Absolutely.
Some of these guys, believe it or not, some of these guys actually played together, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of interesting. They played on the Aycock team because remember Niall Harris and Cody King, Cody now at Page and Niall Grimsley, I think they were together on that same Aycock line team back in the day. And some other kids maybe too.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine the guys that was on that Aycock team with you or with you on that Mendenhall team and you guys went 7-0 and you wish you had that guy to help you. Now you're going against him.
You think when you're on that middle school team, we're going to be 7. You think we'll be 7 every year.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose. We're never going to lose.
And
but then you get up there and the work gets hard. But I was thinking about Cody King. I know we're heading toward Grimsley, talking about Grimsley and Page both tonight. But Cody King on that Aycock team, they would put Cody King out at wide receiver. And on that big wide, he would wide up so close to the sideline, he'd be way out there. I'm thinking, how in that quarterback's never going to get him that ball out there. He's not that ball about to get him that ball. But it was a key thing. If you're a wide receiver, you want to wide up as wide as you don't think that guy's going to follow you. He won't go out this far. I just go as wide as I can. He'll forget about me. He won't come out this far too. That little defensive back, he'll jog out there right beside the guy too and stand right beside him.
Yeah. Absolutely, and you see that a lot in middle school. And one of the things that you talk about is very interesting. You bring that up about the Mendenhall and the Aycock, those types of battles. Those guys remember. What this athlete, what he used to do, how he was. So they'll be telling their teammates, "Hey, you better watch him because he did this before," or "Watch him in this position."
Remember how that guy hit me back then? Yeah. Because there's a difference. And again, there's not that huge of a difference between an 8th grader and a 12th grader. There's still a lot of similarities, and like you said, a lot of things you remember when you played against teams. Because I can still go back and tell you about plenty of times I had to even play in middle school. I can tell you about times at Northeast Guilford, knocked the guy out of bounds. We lost game 26-20. We should have won that game because I knocked that guy out of bounds. Remember against Northwest, one game against them in middle school football. This guy, we were winning like 28-0 This guy from Northwest, he got the ball, he's running the field, he's gone. Everybody's staring watching. I said, what the heck? I'm going to run the guy down. So Chase got in and still saved the shutout. And then those varsity games, you never forget those.
Yeah. There's so many memories that you build and that you add and that you cherish.
And the thing is, you hope you get better as you get older. You hope you don't level off. You don't hit that level off period. It's tough because if you're good when you're younger, like we said, you're 7-0, you're playing well, you think, we're going to be great forever.
We're going to be great forever,
Those guys catch up. That's why the training is hard. I told the guy, here's a good, if anybody watches this video, remembers this, here's a good point for you. The coaches want to train you to go as hard as you can and be the best you can. They can train you hard, train you so far. You're just hoping that after they take you that far, you want to go further. You push yourself beyond where they've taken you. That's where you want to go. That's when you really get better, when you go beyond where those coaches have pushed you to. Because so many guys say, I don't want that. I get tired of that guy pushing me. But hey, you get to that point, he's pushed you to that certain point, you push yourself further, you've gone somewhere.
And you brought up a good point. Let me ask you this, your input in this. You brought up a very good point. One of the things I've seen in all of my years of coaching, I don't think kids train as hard as we used to, or it was mandatory to train back in the day because they're playing so many sports now. The seasons go so long now because if you're playing football and then you're playing basketball in AAU during the summer, you're concentrating on basketball. You're not working out for football, getting prepared. And we used to have a regimen in the summer that you had to go through. We used to have 2 days. Some schools have 3 days back in the day. And you was in the weight room.
We actually had ones and we had 4 days.
4 days, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
You did it 8 slept at the school.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we. We did the exact same thing. Just have those.
The difference I see now, and I've talked to some people about this. They've helped me out sometimes. The difference now, to some degree, is because the difference in the game. Today's game is so much more passing. I think back then we ran the ball so much, you had to be in that weight room in the summer 3 days a week, never miss, because very few people threw as much as they do now. I think now they do more of the 7-on-7s. They're going to these camps and stuff like that because the game has changed so much. It's more of a passing game than it was a running game. Back then, you had to be strong as an ox. You had to be able to block guys. I mean, the guys here tonight, Jack and Zach, both those guys pass block. But back then, you pretty much just run block. That's why you hit the weight room all the time, all summer long.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2 points. Now everybody's working on speed. It's not so much on
It's
the
like
upper
get up the
body.
field. Get up the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get that ball.
And
I watched that game last night between Southeast Guilford and Southwest Middle School. Southwest Guilford under coach over there. Man, they throw the ball now as much as any team. And sometimes the quarterbacks, they're throwing the ball, hoping to get it complete. Sometimes they just right back, just throw it as far as they can. They're just throwing the ball almost probably 3 out of 4 downs. It seems like.
And when you're not talking about the workout regiments that we used to do, think about this. When you go to every high school now, you don't see sleds anymore.
No, you don't.
Very
I looked
seldom
for one.
do you
The
see.
other day I was looking for a 7-man sled, and I don't think I saw it. So I thought, man, a 7-man sled was almost like it wasn't a big deal when you got your first car. It was a big deal when you hit your first 7-man sled.
Absolutely.
And you want to hit the outside guy if you could, because the outside guy, she's spinning around. It was
Spinning
easy. It was
around,
lighter.
yeah.
Man, that 7-man sled. Oh man, I'll never forget the 7. We used to have talks about that. Here's what we said: we'd sit around and talk in our off time, the linemen or other young men on the football team, and fantasize. One night, it's gonna be real dark, be real late. I'm gonna drive over here with somebody's truck. We're gonna take a chain, wrap that chain around that sled. We're gonna drag that sled out of here and steal it, take it away.
Right.
Because we hit that sled so much. I mean, man, I used to one of my goals about the sled was like they had a little 2-man sled too. When we hit the 2-man, all my goal was like try to knock the coach off the sled.
Right. Especially at the end of practice, because you know after the sled come all of your running, and so if you could knock him down, maybe he wouldn't have you to do those.
But he didn't have
10
balance
up
on
and
that
down.
sled. It would start sliding.
Right.
You know, it was hard to handle.
And you know, you don't see that anymore when you go to practices. You don't see that a lot because now everybody is working on speeds with jump ropes. They're working with the cones. They're working with the footwork.
They got these cords. They use a lot of cords now too. And things like
Absolutely,
that.
and then the triple jump rope, the tire. So they have a lot more man-made equipment than they do the Rydell sleds and all that we used to have to make you, as you said, physical fit.
A lot of work back then. A lot of work last week. You heard a lot about that Southwest Guilford game. They had that kicker from Mount Tabor, Aaron Muse, Coach Andy Muse, who coached the basketball. His son kicked that field goal to beat Southwest. The first kick, they blocked it, and they were supposed to let the clock keep running, and the game would have been over. It would have been tied going to overtime at 14-14, but the official made the guy stop the clock. So they blocked it, and they got a second chance at the field goal. Second chance, had a penalty against Southwest, all sides, had to got to kick it again, made it that time. And then they had, that was the third time. They made it the third time and got the field goal. And Southwest beats Mount Tabor, but the clock should have never stopped it in the game. And they blocked the kick, and the clock should have ran out. But Southwest, they feel like they really got shoveled away that game.
Was it third down or was it fourth down when they blocked
I don't know
the
what
kick?
down it was. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, so that's the
But
point.
the key about Southwest, they had the ball before Mount Tabor got it. Southwest had the ball, but they fumbled it over to Mount Tabor to give them a chance. If Southwest would have run the ball out, they would have been fine no matter what.
And if they would have blocked
Big
the kick,
controversy, though.
Yeah, if they would have blocked the kick and Tabor recovered the kick, then it's still their ball and they're down.
That's what they said. I think that's what somebody said. Yeah.
Then they have the opportunity to kick the ball, stop the clock, because at that point it's a dead ball. So as you said, not being
And
there
they blocked it the
visually.
first time, and then they got to go back and kick it in after the block field goal. Kicked it the second time, it was a penalty against Southwest, so they had to kick it again, and he kicked it the third time and made it, and the game was over. A huge celebration.
Yeah, and that was one that you and I was waiting on all throughout the night.
No
and
doubt
it
about it.
came in right at the end of our game, because our game ended real early. You're talking about our game ended at 9:25, and other games went to 9:45 or 10 minutes to 10, and that's a big
I tell you, a
difference.
game that ended quick the other night, baby. That game back on Tuesday night, that baseball game went like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
People couldn't believe it.
Wow, we were going,
People couldn't
I was
believe it.
watching that game. It was about
Yeah.
10:30. Man, the news isn't on yet. The
Right.
game's over.
Yeah.
Then last night's game goes 4 hours and about 13 minutes.
Absolutely,
Oh,
you
man.
can see the
Oh,
difference.
Man, crazy.
Yeah, you can see the difference in a blowout game and a close game in baseball because closer the game, the longer the.
And that game last night was crazy.
Yeah.
The umpire got hit by the ball last night. Well, the pitcher threw the ball to the second, trying to keep it running close to base, and the ball gets away from the cover man, which I think was a kid used to play for the Grasshopper. Austin Barnes went from catcher to second for the Dodgers. I think it was his arm I saw trying to tag that runner, get back to the bag. Ball went way past his arm and hits the umpire in the leg.
In the leg.
All these things.
And you know that this is a series that with Astros that it looked like the first game the Dodgers just gonna sweep through,
Kill him.
You know, because Astros been there before, and that's what happened the last time.
First win in playoff history for the Astros last night.
And it's
I think
amazing,
it's 56
isn't it?
years. So yeah, I mean that's
It's
hard to
amazing.
believe.
Yeah.
First World Series or playoff, first World Series win ever.
World Series
Not first
win ever.
playoff because they won the playoffs to
they've
get
been
there.
playoff to get
But
there,
the first World Series win ever.
win ever.
Yeah.
And you know, in the Dodgers, the first night, you know, when they blew them out, everybody thought, oh well, it's going to be the same old. This
Yeah.
game is going to end.
I'm
real
hoping
quick.
Houston wins. I think it's because they had the floods. They had a rough time down there. I think it's because they're an American League team. Used to be a National League team. I think the Dodgers are a powerhouse. Was a powerhouse. They got more money. I think the Astros got a chip on their shoulder. They got that little 5'6" guy Altuve, kind of like him. I like Brian McCann because his brother Brad McCann played for the Grasshoppers back in the day. Like Brian, got that bald head, got that beard, used to catch the Braves. But I think I'm pulling for the Astros.
And I agree with you. Side note, I agree with you 100%. I have this philosophy, and it's just outside of the box, just me. When you look at natural disasters that happen in the areas, and you look at the team, even in the Superdome when they had it in New Orleans.
Yeah, they won the Super Bowl.
And they won the
that
Super
year.
Bowl.
They sure
So
did.
that's something that I look at when they have national catastrophes. And there is a lot of casualties. There's a lot of catastrophes that
A lot
happens.
of loss.
A lot of loss. It seemed like the sport venue is bring that back together. I agree with you 1,000%. That's what I was, and you know, and that's just the way it is. And I think that Houston has an opportunity now to mend that through what people love, the sport.
Right.
You know, the baseball is a big time sport for the Houston area, not so much from the financial perspective that you would get for your city, but just to bring a lot of happiness and peace.
A lot of unity.
I agree.
And they got a kid on their camera, Maben. He's from Asheville. I was telling Joe Sierra, he whipped a hit right past the shortstop for the Dodgers, who's Corey Seager from Concord. You got two North Carolina guys involved in the same play, and just kind of like Houston. I do.
Yeah, like their chances, because as you said, LA spotlight. LA is known for celebrities, known for its
They
stylish.
had a bunch of celebrities in those games. So
Yeah.
I heard some names being called
You're
out.
right. You're right. And they had the big Ferris wheel lit up with the Dodger
the
blue
background.
in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah. And it's just like you said. It's just
And he had
that
Ben
city-
Scully come out and announce something.
Yeah,
Get
that's
it.
amazing,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
That guy's been around
Yeah.
forever.
So-
He's been around longer than Don Moore's been doing
Right.
video. Ben Scully, no doubt about that.
Yeah, he got about 3 years on Don Moore, so they go back to the 40s, I believe. or
Taking it
50s.
back, way back. What about the football game last Thursday night, the Oakland Raiders game? It had about 4 chances to win that game at the end, and that was one of the best finishes I think you'll ever see.
Yeah, absolutely. You was telling me about it the next day because when I told you I watched it to halftime, I said, well, this is going to be over after the crazy penalty with the Marshawn Lynch running off the bench
yeah.
and had to lead the game. I said, well, this is over now because all the momentum had switched at that point back to Kansas City. And we watched David Emerson get brutalized by a receiver. And that was unlike David Emerson 2 or 3 times, and the guy just blew by him, and I couldn't watch no more of that. Looking at so when I talked with you on Friday, you told me how the game ended, and I went back to look at it on ESPN. That was a great ending.
Excellent ended there, and then again, they got a big one tonight. Miami's taking on Baltimore with Joe Sierra. We did the distant replay on the Miami Dolphins. Went back to the 1972 team, back when they had big Larry Zonka, the big running back, number 39.
Yeah. Wow.
People just don't want. You can never forget that number 39.
Number 39, the big, thick mustache. Larry Zonka was. When you look at Larry Zonka type of running back, you know, I just got finished talking about that. The Larry Zonka backs, the John Riggins, those type backs, you don't have those guys anymore. Those, and the last time I think we've seen one, we can come back to Moose with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, Darryl Johnston.
Darryl Johnston was one of those type backs,
He
but Larry
wasn't huge.
Zonka,
Johnston was just pretty smart.
he was a smart, brutal back that could do. But Larry Zonka, and when you look at that team, Andy, that's when I got into really was getting into football as a youth.
Yeah, you had Larry Zonka, you had Bob Greasy,
Bob Greasy,
yeah.
yeah.
You had the Jim Kick, you
Jim-
had
wow.
Eugene Mercury Morris.
Right, Mercury
Great
Morris.
running back.
That was a running back that, and then the coach Don Shula.
Outstanding.
Oh man, wow, that was one of the coaches back in the day. John Madden gave Don Shula so much credit for his career. You know,
And Don Shula was outstanding with the Baltimore Colts. He took
Yes,
them to
sir.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he certainly
and took
did.
Miami to back-to-back Super Bowl.
Back-to-back
wins
Super
in
Bowl
a perfect season.
absolutely.
And I
Like-
got a score here, too, before we go much further. Grimsley's up 6-0 over Page. Grimsley leads 6-0 in the first quarter. Grimsley 6 and Page nothing early in that ball game. So Grimsley's got the early lead. Interesting, that must have missed the extra point or the conversion
Went for
attempt.
2, yeah.
But back to those Dolphins. I mean, the defense, man, that Nick Monicani, heck of a linebacker.
Yeah,
Whoa, what a
certainly
hitter.
was. Nick Monicani, you talking about physical specimen of a person that fits the role of a linebacker. A linebacker had to be the meanest person on the field, because you asked that question now. Who is the meanest
on your team,
on
yeah.
the team? And the demeanor was, but a linebacker. On one come to mind for Chicago Bears, Mike Singletary. When you look at his eyes, looking back at it, and the Super Bowl wins, those guys put the linebacker position.
Look at a guy like Dick Butkus that played there, too.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Would you want to go up against Dick Butkus?
No, sir. Not on a,
say your
not
first
on a
day of
warm
practice,
day.
say, hey, man, you go up against Butkus. I say, see you
I'm
next
going
week.
to the locker room. Yeah, Dick Butkus. He didn't have a heart. He was a fearless competitor. He was one of those guys
How
that.
about this guy? When I say these guys' names, it almost makes you just cringe because you know how tough they were. Jack Lambert.
Jack Lambert, yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
The young bird, Jim and Jack, young blood.
The young bloods too, but then Jack Lambert for the
Jack
Steelers.
Lambert. Oh, man.
he had a grizzled looking
With the
face.
teeth.
Oh man, that guy was crazy. But back to those Dolphins, you had guys like Manny Fernandez on the defensive
Yep,
line.
sure
You
did.
had Jake Scott, Dick
Jake Scott,
Anderson,
yeah.
had Gary Yepremian, the kicker.
Gary Yepremian,
And
that's
they had
right.
the punter Larry Seipel. Later, he got replaced by
Reggie
Reggie
Roby
Roby. Came
came,
later.
yes, that's
But
right.
Larry Seipel was the punter for the Dolphins in '72, and they won them all. And he was not only the punter; he was also a backup wide receiver. How crazy is that?
Yeah, and then come Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, them
Yeah,
later
the
on.
Marx brothers, yeah.
You know, you're right, man. You're talking about.
That's a heck of a team.
Yeah,
back then.
absolutely.
And the quarterback in the Super Bowl was Earl Morrill.
Right.
He came there from Baltimore when
Okay.
Shula came in.
And then
because he did the same
Greasy
kind of great
yeah.
comeback thing in Baltimore. He did the same thing in Miami.
You're right, and back then, Don Shula, he taught the game of football. He didn't coach it.
yeah.
He was a teacher.
That's a good point.
And you know, when you're a teacher of the game, that's why I love old coaches, because now coaches work with talent, but the old coaches, with you and I, we was coming up, they taught us the fundamental. You took 2 months to learn fundamental football, no matter what level you was on. That was your practice. Your practice didn't consist of in the offense now. It didn't consist of, we worked together as a unit. The whole practice, you worked together as a unit. You went split up for about 15 minutes, and you came and we was tackling. It wasn't no off you was on Wednesday before a game. On Thursday, you took it easy. We played practice every day like it was a game day.
Yeah, Thursday for us, I was thought about a good way to describe our Thursdays from the old days. Thought about this a while back. Thursdays for us like country club day, like one of the country club. We may as well had a golf cart out there riding around, but
Right.
we did nothing on Thursdays. It was how quick could you get out of there? It was, but it wasn't because we were slack. We'd already did it all during the week.
do it all during the week.
This is our
Absolutely.
reward.
Yeah.
We get treated like kings on Thursday.
On Thursday
that was
was a
back
good
when
day.
the lineman used to get to touch the ball.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this is a football. Wow.
Wow.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And now they practice on Monday, have film on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and then they go this defense and out offense
Defensive
on
day,
Wednesday.
defensive day would be on Tuesday. Offense, probably defense on Tuesday. Offense
on
Wednesday,
and then the country club on Thursday.
Yeah.
But for us, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hit.
Yeah, Thursday was always about formations. Just line up
Just
the
to-
first team offense, first team defense, kicking team, punting team, all those lines. Make sure you have the right guys in the right spots.
Absolutely, and
Which is not a bad idea because we sit enough games where guys forget where they're supposed to be.
right, and then and for us on Fridays, right before the game, you do the meal, and you'll do the movie or relax or whatever. But then about 4:30, we on the field lining up for formations, going over the game schemes and all of that. So then when we got to the stadium, we did the exercise and all that, But I was out kicking, man, and at 4:30, I knew I had to go out on the field and I had to get rid of it because I was the kicker, and I met myself in the field goal kicker and special teams. We was out going over special teams.
A lot of times on Fridays, we would have it might sound a little crazy to some, this is the way it was. It'd be like you take these mats off the side of the gym wall where they put the pads, take the pads off, lay them in the floor.
And
we just
get
lay
a
there.
nap. That's us.
And
That's
the gym
the
was
same
air
thing.
conditioned, so we just lay there and take the nap.
Oh yeah, you have to get that rest time. You're absolutely right. To lay on the bleachers or in the weight room. You have to get somewhere in the quiet time.
Well, let's go back to a few more things. Let's go to tomorrow night's game. I mean, we talked to Jack Hazard, talked to Zach tonight. Zach come in, Zach Harrison. How about those guys? What do they got to do to win that game tomorrow? If Grimsley's going to beat Page, since they beat them back in 1970, 1987, 1999, 2004, 5, and 6. Haven't beat them any other times in the past 47 years.
Yeah, when you look at those times, I bet your Page didn't have a quarterback like Javondre Page, and I bet they didn't have that linebacker core of Turner, Cook, Tisdale. And when you look at what Page is doing, Page now is playing.
I like this text I just got in from Mr. Stutz. He had sent the wrong score. Page 6, Grimsley nothing. Repeat score. Page 6, Grimsley nothing. He got the score wrong.
Wow. It's a wonder because there we go again.
We've done that before. Somebody had a heart attack. I can't be responsible for that.
And that's why in Don, I look at Don's scores 4 or 5 times if I even call it out, and then I tap you even off the air and say, look, is it? And you will wait on another one. If Don coming, we'll confirm it, because that Southwest and Dudley game, man, we knew that my phone was upside down or something crazy.
Malfunction, yeah.
So you're right, and that's the way it is with the scores from Don, that before we announce it, because we've been in a situation where we had literally in the back ears of some fans, and we was calling that your team have to play next week. They're losing.
They were hinging on what we were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And they was like, what?
Especially
What? And then we yelled at again.
Eastern Guilford. I could have run for mayor of Gibsonville, Eastern Guilford that one night. We were reporting that Northern was about to lose to Leesville. I could have been elected mayor of Gibsonville the following Tuesday on election day, until I had to go back. We had to announce the fact
the recounting. Absolutely.
That game was not over. Overtime Northern won, and then I was running. I couldn't even win garbage collector dog catch.
Right, absolutely. That was amazing, because we were just we had that by 10 people, and we were just engaged with them every second we get it. They was just cheering and they was hollering.
Well, boy, at the end,
wow,
we had to get out of there quick. And we had to make sure we put our jackets on and try to put them over our heads.
Put them over our heads and get out.
But back to that Page Grimsley again. If I'm Grimsley, I want to be on defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that your defense is your best.
But your Grimsley defense has got to play good against that Page offense. That Page offense is good.
And when you look
got to run that whole field.
When you look at what Javondre Page did last week, it was impressive. They passed the ball. Page, I love what Coach Rothfuss is doing, because you can't be one-dimensional in playoff. You've got to be able to, and you build your confidence of your sophomore player now and say, hey, when we get in the third round of the playoffs, this is what we're going to need.
We want you playing your best football at the last stage of the season, and that may be the case as he's developing.
Yeah, he's certainly developing. He's becoming what you always consider Andy Durham of all of our young quarterbacks. He is now learning how to manage the game.
Yeah.
He is learning now how to be a field general.
Right.
He's learning now that you are in control of the destiny of our team. You are the leader. Everything started in with
And
you.
plus, he's spreading the wealth around. You go into number 2, Nick Baker, number 17, Bradshaw. You're going to number 11, Nassim Alston. You're going to number 84, Cody King. I mean, they got 4 or 5 guys.
And don't forget about number 1, Nassim Alston. You have him as well.
Yeah, when he's back.
When he's come back, he's a little weapon as well.
And that Scott kid, number 22, may be out tomorrow night. We're not sure he may be out tomorrow night.
And let me jump to this real quick while we're talking about the Page and Grimsley. You and I have seen something I haven't seen in high school football. And when there's a discipline problem or something happened, the official escort the player over to the bench. Now, and we've seen that three times.
Right.
And not getting the ejection call, because over the head, that's out of there.
Right.
And when you don't get that call, you're wondering, did this kid get ejected, or what did the official just bring him over? You put him in timeout.
When an official walks with a player over toward the sideline, it's almost like the kid had been injured. You think more been injured? This kid needs some attention.
Discipline,
yeah. But back in the day, I had that same situation Son Austin had. He was on the ground kicking the guys over on top of him. When I was back in that day, I was on top kicking the guys on the ground. But back then, the official went like this.
Yeah.
And I said, "See you later." Hell was over.
Yeah, they gave you the kick-out signal, and now
they gave me the Kickback Jack.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Jack.
But we did see that. We did see that signal at Northwest. We didn't see that Southeast with Dudley, but we knew, and then we didn't see that Page.
We've seen a lot of that this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We saw Nigel Fitzgerald get it at Dudley.
Yeah.
We saw Son Austin get it at Northwest. We think Stephen Scott get it at Page last week. We've seen that quite a bit this year.
And then the kid for High Point Central as well. He was the first one that had happened to the defensive lineman with High Point Central. But back to your point, I think that Grimsley's best ally would be their offense, their defense, because your offense is not going to be able to do much with that defensive linebacker core. And it's almost like this linebacker core remind me of the Dudley linebacker core with Nigel Peele
and Connor.
And Connor, because these guys run downhill and they will hit you. We've seen some hits.
Yeah, we had Dudley. Dudley usually had those 2. You had Peele and Connor. With Page, they actually got 4 because you got Turner, you got Tisdale,
and Cook.
You got Scott when he was available. Who's the third one? We're leaving out Gray, Alex Gray. Gray's a big burly guy too. You got Gray, you got again Tisdale, and you got Turner, and you got the other kid Scott. If he's in there, that's 4 guys can come at you. I mean, we talked about Cam Gavin up front. He's a good guy occupying space. Heats up space. He gets in the backfield too, but he allows those defensive those linebackers just come in and attack.
You're absolutely right. And Alex Gray, if you get past B.J. Turner, which is, I'll say B.J. Turner is the electric chair. If you get past him, then you have to drink the arsenic from Alex Gray. And if you can get past the arsenic, then, so you almost like to pick your poison.
I got the question this week. I asked this to Joe Sierra. I forgot to ask the young Grimsley kids, and probably better I didn't ask these kids about this because it is pretty serious business. If you had to choose between the guillotine or burned at the stake, which one do you take?
Wow, the guillotine, your head is off. Burn at the stake. I think that being a Christian, burn at the stake. I think that because we've seen the martyr of so many good.
I think I'd take the guillotine because burned at the stake, I might be in 30 minutes. That's too long. Just headless horseman. Let's go. Time of the year. Chop the head off the guillotine. But the burn at the stake, I'm still can feel those flames.
Yeah.
And it could be going on for a while.
You're right. You have to. Yeah.
Man, that's tough.
I think I'd take the burn at the stake.
Some kind of poison. Guillotine.
Absolutely.
Burn at the stake. Speaking about the stake, how about stake in that game tomorrow night? Grimsley working to win that game. If they could hold Page to 28 points or less, I think they got a shot. That seems like a lot to a lot of people. But I think you holding the 4 touchdowns and your offense can do something, you still got a chance.
You're absolutely right.
Because that Page offense is going to score some points.
Yeah, they're going to put up some points, no doubt about it. And I'll take you back to something you always say in this big game. If you're Grimsley, you want to be in the game because if Page blow you out in the first quarter, the game is over.
You don't have a chance.
Yeah, you don't have a chance. It's over for you.
You lost your spirit.
Yeah, and you're done. And with them now.
And that's why if I'm in that game tomorrow night, if I had a choice, say, they tell me you can play, I want to be on that Grimsley defense.
Yeah.
Grimsley defense.
And I know exactly where you're
I'll
going.
be running that whole
You're just
field.
going to touch that quarterback to let him know even if the ball is gone.
You got to.
That I'm out here.
You got to. You got to be on that Grimsley defense. You got to be all over that field. You got to run that field like you're a midfielder in soccer. Got to run that whole field.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And all that being said and done, what is your prediction?
Well, my prediction is Page by a couple of touchdowns. Page 14-point win.
14-point Page win.
Over the Warriors.
So they got that game tomorrow night. You and I will be at that one. And then again next week, Dudley's hoping that they're facing Mount Tabor for their conference championship.
Yeah, and then the thing you look at, Dudley have to hope that Parkland does not beat Mount Tabor, because if Parkland beat Mount Tabor,
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think it goes down to the vest. It's going to be Mount Tabor versus Dudley, and it could well be a three-way tie for that championship.
And when
I
you
think Dudley's going to be so pumped up to go win that game.
Yeah, if Dudley win that game, beat Parkland, now you and I was talking about how is it going to turn out, what is going to happen. Dudley could very well end up in the second or third place.
Yeah,
because
they could.
now,
and if they end up in third place, they may be as low as a 12 seed.
The 12 seed,
and the team will be the defending state 3AA champion, could be on the road in round one of the playoffs.
To
me, that's just not right.
Absolutely,
not
I agree with you. I certainly agree with you, because that's going to now put Dudley against a top team early. You know, usually you wait to the third round.
My theory is that Dudley's got everybody healthy. They do go like a 12 and go on the road round one. They're going to beat all those good teams. Just knock them. Get rid of them.
Yeah,
wipe them out.
And so it may be.
They're going to be so mad having that road, the chip on their shoulders can be so big. They're going to say, like the guy said, I got a batter, I'm going to knock it off. I dare you to knock it off. They're going to go take them out.
Let me take you back to Northern when they was on the road.
Oh, yeah.
When the first...
They didn't want to come home.
They didn't want to come home, yeah. Because what gave them the home field advantage is the top seed was knocked out by, as you say, the 12th seed. So then that gave Northern that opportunity, because you and I was with them on the road every week. You know,
what do you think about, we got that game tomorrow night, Page and Grimsley, got Dudley tomorrow night. As they go up against North Forsyth at home, they should wipe them out. You got High Point Central, Ragsdale. Ragsdale beats High Point Central if Page beats Grimsley. Ragsdale and Page will meet for the championship next week in Jamestown. And right now, Malachi Manis, 1,299 yards in the year, 17 big touchdowns, having a heck of a year.
If you and I, when you and I talked in the summer, when you let me know that, hey, Coach is heading down from Ragsdale, he's going to South Carolina, I'd say, hey, and by the way, guess what? Ragsdale is going to be in the game of the championship of the conference against Page. You would have asked me what is in that lemonade on the sideline at the scrimmage game.
I said, did you go to the Forsyth County Fair and get against the helium machine, sucking in that helium beside those balloons? What have you been taking in? I would be thinking going in, Ragsdale would be lucky to go half and half.
That's what we talked about. We predict that. That's what we talked about Ragsdale. If they can get 500 with a new coach, we talked about Southeast. They can get 500, and all of the teams that we talked about, even or Northeast.
They could be 7-4. They could be 7-4.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Like you said, you would ask me about the helium or the drinking because we didn't see this coming. Coach Tinsley, let me jump real quick into this and I'll get right back to your point. Coach Tinsley, to me, Southeast this year have changed the minds of all of the Southeast fans about Southeast football. Mm-hmm. He put Southeast back with Coach Slayton. And all those guys wanted Southeast to be, and it wasn't on the running game, it was the passing as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And the way it looked last night, they beat Southwest 14-8 in the middle school game, and the guy that got the key interception to help preserve the win was the defensive back for the Southeast Guilford Falcon middle school team, none other than Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis was the DB. He got the interception.
Wow.
Stephen Davis. Yeah. Smaller Stephen Davis.
Right, not the big Stephen Davis, right.
He was back in the defensive backfield. He got the interception.
Wow. He's not even related to Coach Stephen Davis.
His name is Stephen Davis. I don't know for sure yet. But last check we had, Page, by the way, leading Grimsley 6-0 by way of Robert Stutz. Hope you get an update from Mr. Stutz in a few. But Dennis White with us. So we're talking about the high school games this week. What about that game in South Bend, Indiana, NC State going out to visit Notre Dame. Notre Dame ranked 10th in the country, I think it is, and state somewhere around 14th.
And then Notre Dame is on fire.
They beat USC like a dog.
They beat USC. They put them. They beat USC. No one thought that Notre Dame 11, ranked 13 at the time, would beat the 11 USC Trojans. When you look at what I looked at that game, I love Notre Dame. I know that.
I used to like them in the old days too. I used to watch every Sunday morning. Had like a half-hour show on TV.
That was man. Everybody loved. And then when Rudy came out, oh my goodness, that just put Notre Dame. But back to your point though, I don't think NC State has the defense of backs to stop those speedy receivers. The receivers for Notre Dame, Andy, is about the best group of receivers that I've seen.
It's going to be on TV 3:30 Saturday.
Be a good game. And you cannot put NC State on the sideline like you was doing last year in a lot of these games, because last year they just didn't have what they have this year.
Right.
So it's going to be a good game. I think Notre Dame. I give Notre Dame a 10-point win, a touchdown in the field goal win.
Well, if NC State were to lose, they could still win the ACC championship. Because this is not a conference game. They'll be playing a conference game against Clemson next week. But the guy did that show on Sunday mornings around church time on TV. The Notre Dame show was Lindsey Nelson. Used to always host that half-hour Notre Dame highlight show.
And you hear that fight song. When you hear that fight song come on, you knew that it was that time.
Hail to the Dingo Warrior. Hail to my friend Buzz Sawyer. I always include a couple of wrestlers in that too when I did it back in the day. Dennis, we get ready to close out at Kickback Jacks for a Thursday. We talked about the ACC, talked about the high school teams, a little bit about the pro teams, a little bit about the baseball, and again on the college scene. Heels, any chance this week?
Don Moore, have to call on Don again. All Heels just going downhill. This is not our year, and we
Wake and Georgia Tech this week.
That's going to remnant wreck. I seen Georgia Tech play last weekend. It's going to be a great game. I have to give the edge to Wake Forest.
I think Carolina's got Miami this week, don't they?
Yeah.
That's rough because Miami hadn't lost a game.
Miami, that's rough.
They're going to contend for the ACC title, I think.
Absolutely.
That Mark Richt is a good coach too.
Yeah,
does a good job. Duke struggling right now.
They are. And you and I, a couple of weeks back, we thought Duke had an opportunity to prevail in a big ACC win. That didn't happen at Florida State. And we thought they was going to beat them, and it didn't turn out that way. So
does A&T continue to stay unbeaten? Keep going?
Yes. A&T last week, they played, I think, the toughest opponent in the
team I'm looking out for. I'll be honest with you, I don't know at all. The team I'm looking out for. Central's lost the game, but the team I'm really scared about is our old buddy's team at Norfolk State.
Norfolk State, yeah. You have to look at Norfolk State is a team that
the old
is
coach,
now
Connell Maynard's team. Man, they're looking good. I think they beat Central. I think Norfolk State beat them.
And you're right.
Connell Maynard wants to beat A&T so bad because that's his old team.
That's his old team. Yeah. Connell Maynard has proven on that level he's a winner in every aspect of coaching. And if anybody can do it, Connell Maynard is the one that could do it. And I'm like you. Here's the thing that have bothered all the Aggie fans for the last 3 years. You get all the way to Central game, and you can't get past Central.
Right.
Now, if A&T beat Norfolk State, Hampton. If they beat Hampton and lose against Central, they'll be tied for the MEAC championship. I think Hampton have lost one game in the MEAC. So A&T still have the opportunity to win it outright and go to the Celebration Bowl again.
Hope to get the celebration. Yeah. What about our friend Alex? Is he in tonight or is he out tonight?
Don.
He's all by himself.
So.
By himself, no time to work it. Let's do some closing words here with Dennis. And Dennis, tell us about this great food at Kickback Jacks. I know you tried the ribs, brother.
Yeah, Kickback Jacks offer a variety of food, football, and fun. When you look at the food here at Kickback Jacks, you have to look at the ribs. The ribs is certainly one of the items on the menu that's spicy, sliced, and dicey, just like high school football, spicy, sliced, and dicey. And I approve of that message. But also, Andy, you tried something that I may try tonight on the side of appetizer to take home to the kids is the tater tots. Talk about, how was that?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's very filling. I guarantee you that it's a load. No doubt about that.
and you get your plate full and your belly full at the same time.
Yeah, and it comes as a full meal. It's like a meal.
And-
They put that in the bucket as a meal. But what I'm looking at tonight might be the old-fashioned burger. Might get the old-fashioned burger, maybe some mac and cheese go in instead of the fry. But I tell you, I've had those ribs, and when I really have some time on my hands, let's sit back and enjoy some time alone by myself and those ribs. I get the ribs.
Yeah, the ribs
great.
I've been going with the ribs each week. Don Moore been a versatile one. Don has been changing up each week. I think you and I've been sticking with the same thing a couple of weeks. So Don, what you going with this week?
We'll do the salad.
The salad, all
Good
right.
stuff.
That's
That
good
salmon is
stuff.
tasty, very tasty.
And I haven't had the wings, in this segment, but I've had
tried
them
them
before.
sometime down the
So
road, too, yeah.
But I'm stuck on them ribs. And
I'm thinking about going down to that Grimsley Page game and check the second
Yep,
half
get
out.
out.
Take that old-fashioned burger, put it in the trunk of my car, tailgate that burger, jump inside that gate, watch the rest of that game, and then go home and then maybe come back to Kickback Jacks and check out that game between the Dolphins and the Ravens. Big-time NFL football tonight.
Yeah, busy man. Well,
Baseball here at Kickback Jacks this weekend. Football this weekend. And the Panthers in Tampa
and the
Bay.
Panthers in Tampa Bay. It's gonna
Will,
be a
will
kickback.
Cam Newton ever slow down? He's got to slow down. He's wearing too many different these great caps, these hats. He's got to slow down and not walk out. Slow down.
Absolutely. Cam is a competitor, and when you look at his abilities to be articulate to the media, sometimes he can. I think that when you ask about a guy's offense that threw interceptions and lost the game, that's make anybody walk out like you got a score coming in.
Yeah, it looks like it's still 6-0 Page at the half. 6-0 Page halftime down at Jameson Stadium. Page up 6-0 over Grimsley halftime. Close ball game. Still anybody's game down at Jameson.
Yep, absolutely. Let you get out to that ball game. Another great football show here at Kickback Jacks.
Kickback Jacks, Football in Focus, Dennis White, Don Moore. We had Zach Harrison. We had Jack Hazard, Joe Sierra. We thank Alex. We thank Mick and the good people at Kickback Jacks. Hope to do it again next Thursday. Big game tomorrow night over at Marion Kirby Stadium. Grimsley visiting Page. Big inter-city battle tomorrow night. Should be some great football this weekend.
A big rivalry, but Grimsley and Page, as I said, the record is indicative. These are two schools that love to play each other.
Thank you, Dennis.
Bless you,
Good
Andy.
job
Good
as
to see
always.
you.
See you folks again next week. Kickback Jacks, Football in Focus. We'll see you soon.
Good night.